On this episode of Smoko Sailing.
And we've never flown spinnaker before, and we're gonna try it today.
Let's turn this place upside down and see what's causing this leak, because the water alarms are still going off.
All right, so we're checking out our new digs. We'll be here for a little bit. How am I supposed to work? Like, how am I supposed to do this?
We are Mon and Leah, sailing with our dog Pino aboard Cosmo. We quit our jobs to sail around the world, fixing things, exploring new places, and embracing the beautiful chaos that comes with life at sea. This is Smoko Sailing.
We have left Isla Partida, so we're going to Ensenada el Pescador, which means fish, which I think there's a lot of fish there. But maybe we'll go to Bahia, Los Ángeles. Depends on how fast we go, but the winds are kind of low, and we've never flown spinnaker before, and we're gonna try it today. So either this will be a complete disaster, or it'll be successful. So Leah's gonna be here, and you're just gonna say the same tack. You're just gonna do what you're doing, and I'll do all the magic up there. The last time I flew a spinnaker was when I fell overboard. I actually got like thrown in Santa Cruz. We were going in winds that were 17 knots though, and we were racing, so. Shark infested water. Yeah, it wasn't the best day. It wasn't that bad, but it just sucked. I don't wanna go overboard here. Luckily if we do, just turn on the engine. So the first thing will be rolling up the jib, which we can do at this point of sail. That's not the prettiest, but it's okay. Cool. Yeah, a little nervous doing that. I'm pretty sure I could trim it better, but I just kind of want to see how it performs. Here's our sail. There's our spinnaker. There's a star on it. Oh, cool. All right. It's just one of those things you gotta try it, because I was watching videos all morning. They're talking about symmetrical and asymmetrical and using a spinnaker pole, but we don't need to use that because we have a different setup. So this is going nicely. We dropped the spinnaker because too much wind, which is ridiculous because we almost didn't leave because we thought we wouldn't have enough. True to form, we're trying to sail as much as possible. So we put our jib out and we're just trucking along here, getting ready to drop anchor soon. How far away are we, Leah?
1.66 miles.
1.66, so.
We might have to tack it.
Ooh. All right, we're gonna tack into this puppy. We're all happy over here, but the water alarm's going off in the bow. So, you know, it's a little unnerving and I did want to relax, but we're gonna just open up the v-berth, take some things apart, see what's going on. We're not gonna freak out, and we'll go get some dinner.
We can freak out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nothing that tacos and margaritas can't solve though.
I'm glad it happened here, not like an overnight. If this happened an overnight, I would have, oh man, I'd like lose all my hair. I'd be so stressed, so. Bad news, it's salt water, right in here.
If you've been watching from the beginning, you know the v-berth leak has been a bit of a saga since we moved aboard. We managed to solve the freshwater side, but a saltwater leak is a whole different story, and it's been ongoing since we started bashing down the California coast. And after trying fix after fix, we were determined to finally put an end to it. And so begins our favorite process of taking apart the v-berth.
Like all the stuff.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
So
this is always fun, but.
Let's turn this place upside down and see what's causing this leak, because the water alarms are still going off.
Water here. I don't know if it's because of the light or not.
few months ago, we installed underwater lights, and the internet basically told us our boat was going to sink. And we didn't take it too seriously at the time, but now it was definitely in our heads.
Okay, there's water in here too. It is salt water. Yeah, I mean, good news and bad news. Bad news is I don't know where it's coming from. I don't think it's the light. And here's why. Because I'm drying off and I would see water because the lights are underwater right now. I do have a bias hoping it's not this, so I'm cognizant of that. But the good news is I'm not seeing water come through. I think what happened was Leah can agree, we healed over a lot, right? There wasn't that much water in there. And there's not that much in here, but I think it was enough. It was enough for our pans to fall over. It just took one, and I think it made this jump over here.
I think so.
I think it's overflow. I never did fully fix that, so that's shame on me. But while we're here, this is project land, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Peanut Gallery has an idea.
What's up?
Well, partly, yes, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
But I think that what I can contribute here is my makeup artistry. I feel like if I cover it with maybe some kind of like makeup,
Like a dust.
and then we can see if there's any drippage.
If you did a line around it with mascara, would you see it like, you know, girls cry and the mascara comes down?
Maybe spackle some eyeshadow on it. I don't know.
Ooh.
Okay, so what do we do?
So this is actually sea and sky. So we'll see.
Fitting.
We'll see if there's a sea inside our boat. I just dabbed a shit ton of it, and then I taped a paper towel. Good thing we have a wet whack. Good thing we have a wet vac.
The one that just broke?
Yeah, just kidding. That was the joke.
Oh.
Margaritas did not solve our problem, but it didn't hurt to try that remedy. Bahia de Los Ángeles has like 200% humidity.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We just came back and literally everything on deck is soaked. So we've been gone for maybe about 2 hours, and let's see what happened to the leak. Looks pretty, I think it's pretty dry.
Oh, is there any water in the bottom?
No. I think we can conclude that the leak is not coming from the lights, it's coming from the anchor locker, which is the leak that we were gonna fix a while ago.
I'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, so everyone that's out there saying, you're gonna regret your underwater lights, why would you drill holes in your hull? You guys are really stupid. No, we're not. We have holes in another part of our hull by the anchor locker, not by the water lights. So there you go, suckers. Bahia de Los Ángeles is one of the most well-known stops for cruisers in the northern Sea of Cortez. It's remote, quiet, and surrounded by a chain of islands, with the Sierra de San Borja Mountains rising up behind it. Its position deep in the northern Gulf also means it's generally outside of the main hurricane track, making it a bit of a safe haven for boats during the season. It's also a small fishing village and a destination for people coming to see the seasonal whale sharks that pass through these waters. The nearest highway is 42 miles away, and for sailors, at least a day's sail from the closest larger town. But despite how isolated it feels, it's one of the few places out here where you can reprovision essentials and top up on propane and fuel, which is exactly what brought us here today.
How long has it been?
It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks since we went to
And
a
look
grocery
at all
store.
these different honeys they have, Leah. Syrups.
Vanilla.
We need vanilla, yeah.
Yes.
Spam. Some spam. Look at all this stuff.
I need leche.
They have fresh produce, Leah. Star Wars milk. Ooh, queso crema, butter. Chorizo. Yeah. How'd you do?
Good, I think we got a lot of stuff. Total was 1622 pesos. It's a little bit pricier. You know, usually if we're in San Carlos and bigger cities, we pay a little bit less because this was about $80 for.
Okay. Yeah.
So pretty expensive grocery store run, but we are in the middle of nowhere.
This is our joint, Mercado Isla. All right, so we're checking our new digs. We'll be here for a little bit, getting a package, I don't know when, but we'll head back to the boat and look for fiberglass and start fiberglassing.
This is a hot one today. Another scorcher. I wonder if that was a hotel at some point or a restaurant. Workout of the day?
Yeah. All right. Not a bad little setup.
Not gonna lie, BLA was smaller than we expected, but it had all the essentials, so we were happy.
Okay, this is what we're working with here. I got all my supplies. So let's look under this lip to see where this water is coming through. So this is the tricky part, because I gotta go upside down. Maybe you can see it, but there's some water there, which tells me it's coming from up here. I want to do this really well because I'm fairly sick of it, so I think I'm going to detach the tank, remove it from here, put it on deck. We have to drain this thing because I don't know how much water is. Water is weird on Cosmo. I'll show you in a future episode. We're going to do a whole water project, but we have to drain this. So the hose that feeds the water is right here, and luckily this fits perfectly in it. And we're gonna do a siphon.
Kinda made sense, but it didn't quite work out according to plan. So on to plan B. Now we just tilted this thing and it's draining out in there.
The tank is out. So now I can lay it upside down and actually fiberglass this corner. Welcome to another episode of Do Things Right the First Time. I should have, but I tell you the truth, I was a little intimidated by fiberglass work. So here I am in my v-berth. There used to be that big water tank here, and I'm looking at, oh yeah, you can see water. It's right there. See, this was like water weld or something. So I need to get rid of that. And I'm gonna sand this down and make this nice and fiberglass it. This Bondo isn't doing it. In fact, you can even see a stress crack right there. My anchor locker is right here. And though there's a drain in it, I think just some of the water must creep through. Maybe the weight of the chain one time cracked a little bit and water finds a way. But basically this is the very tip of my anchor locker. I have fiberglass inside that thing. Maybe I'll do it again once I get everything out of it. I am kind of kicking myself for doing such poor work when I was in San Diego and it was nice and comfortable, but I didn't know anything about fiberglass back then. Not to say that I know about it now, but I am better. So we're always getting better. In fact, I did that the wrong way. This should go on first. You can't really sand in there. There's just no room. It's like a pointed triangle and I can't get my sander in. So I'm just gonna use a flathead screwdriver and chip away at the big chunk. Okay, so quite the discovery. Check this out. When I chip away this piece, you're gonna see some water trickle out, which means there's water hanging out there. Look at that trickle right there. You can see that water coming through. Ugh. All right, see all that water? That's what we're talking about. Look at that trickle down.
Let's go see where Armando is at. It looks like we're having a yard sale.
How am I supposed to work? Like, how am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to, like, suspend my feet from a halyard? This stuff down here, here's where I fiberglassed it before. So that's soaked, which means water's getting through it. This is my work. Because I did this in San Diego. So water's getting in past the fiberglass. All right, let's talk about this. All right, this is our boat. This is where I stand when I do the anchor. So this is our anchor locker and this is our anchor chain, okay? This is what it's set up like right now. Okay, anchor chain goes over here. So the anchor stacks like this, okay? And I think what's happening is water is coming through this part into this triangle piece that is getting wet that I just drilled into and water came out.
On here and on the other side, there are drainage holes.
Yeah.
But those aren't enough when you have a ton of water coming over the bow.
Yeah, and they're a little above this. So like half of an inch of water can hang out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna beef up this fiberglass. This side I did before, that doesn't matter. I think I need to do front like that and really do it properly and do like 3 different strips coming in and make it really good. I think originally we were talking about fiberglassing this thicker, but I don't think we want to do that.
No.
So what I want to do is really just a piece of wood right there in the forward part that fits it. But I'm just going to make a little corner piece and fill that section with wood and fiberglass. Okay, this is one of the smallest areas I've ever had to work in. And the problem is I'm working under myself. And eventually this is going to be all fiberglass, so I can't be stepping around on it. But what I got going is this little mock-up. Let's use this template and cut wood like this. Let's see how good this fits roughly. I haven't cleaned it up at all, but let's see. I don't want to make it too small, so let's see. Do one more. Step in it, Armand. That would be tragic. This is what we're looking at. Basically, just a new corner. It's the next morning, so it's been, I think, probably like 18 hours since we did this project. This is what we're dealing with. Oh yeah, it's dry, and it's really nice. It's smooth. It totally fills the area. You know, we sanded it, we cleaned it. I think this is gonna be a better shot. So let's put this area back together and we'll check in 1 month.
So we didn't have the smoothest arrival into Bahía de Los Ángeles, but it taught us a valuable lesson. Take the time to do a job right the first time. 7 months later, we're happy to report the leak hasn't come back. So maybe Armand's finally getting the hang of this fiberglassing thing. And with no more salt water finding its way into the boat, we could finally breathe a little easier and start enjoying this place. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Smoko Sailing.